everyone, my name is Isala. I'm a fashion designer and you are welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Daisy's Wardrobe. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're an existing subscriber, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. And if you've seen my videos before and you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. And put on the notification bell so that you know when I put up a new video. I'm an African-inspired ready-to-wear fashion designer based here in Lagos, Nigeria, and I've been in business for over 10 years. So here on my channel, I talk about starting a fashion business, starting a ready-to-wear business, starting a clothing brand, all things business, all things fashion, and sometimes, once in a while, I talk about my life. So in today's video, I'll be talking about how I became a fashion designer without going to fashion school. So like I said, I'm an African-inspired ready-to-wear fashion designer. I make my designs and I sell my designs right here in my store, and that is what I've done in the last 13 years. So I consider myself to be a self-taught fashion designer. Self-taught in the sense that I did not go to fashion school. Everything I know about fashion design, I learned on my own and I learned on the job. So I don't have any formal education or formal qualification to become a fashion designer. Besides, in Nigeria, there is no barrier to entry when it comes to fashion design. Once you, I don't know, but there's no barrier to entry. So you can go anywhere in Nigeria, everybody will tell you, I'm a fashion designer. So, because there's no barrier to entry. I used to work a corporate job, and I worked a corporate job for a couple of years before I decided to leave my corporate job to become a fashion designer. But before I left my corporate job, I enrolled in a fashion school for a couple of months. But I started, but I didn't finish. I couldn't finish due to circumstances beyond my control. I got pregnant, or I was pregnant, and if you're pregnant, you know what comes along with it. And I was working a 9 to 5. It was a really, really hectic lifestyle. So I more or less did not go. I just wasted that money. I really wanted to start a fashion business. I really, really wanted to start a fashion business. So because I couldn't attend fashion school, while I was pregnant and I was still working my 9 to 5, I was able to get someone to teach me one-on-one about pattern drafting, garment construction. I did that for a couple of months, and I was paying heavily because it was a one-on-one teaching or whatever. It was a one-on-one teaching, and it was pretty expensive, and I couldn't sustain it. Like I said in one of my videos, I started my business with my savings from my corporate job. I started my fashion business. When I started the fashion business, I got tailors to sew my designs for me. And if you are a fashion designer in Nigeria, you know the hassle of working with tailors. You know how challenging it can be sometimes. After a couple of years, I said to myself, this is not sustainable, because the thing is that sometimes it's like starting a business or starting a fashion business for someone else. They are literally at the helm of your business, basically, and they're in control. So indirectly, they can call the shots. They can tell you they are leaving. They can tell you they're not coming to work. They can literally do anything. I said, I don't want to get stranded. And there's some designs that I want to do. And when you get all these tailors, some of them, they tell you, oh, it's not possible. It's not. Because the thing is that in Nigeria, you can be a fashion designer and not know how to sew, not know how to cut, not know how to do anything. People are doing it for you, and you still do well. It's not a big deal. People are doing it there. But I knew what my own situation was. And I said, I am going to go and learn this thing. So I started to apprentice at tailoring shops. So I apprenticed at tailoring shops. But because I was running a business, I had children, little children, basically. It was very tough. But I said, what is worth doing, what is worth having, is worth investing the time into. I learned in so many ways. And back then, there were no YouTube videos. You won't even find anybody on YouTube that will even tell you that they are teaching you how to cut corset, or there were no videos. There were no videos. No videos, as in 10 years ago, there were no videos, as in you can go and check and look at people's pages. There were no videos, none. So I would apprentice, and where I apprenticed, my madam, my boss, she didn't know I had a fashion business. I would just come in like every other person that was learning, and I'll just, if they shout at me, I'll say, okay. And even the tailors, they will talk to me anyhow. And I'll look at them and like, really? I have your type that I'm paying their salaries, and you're talking to me like this. But I knew what I wanted. I knew what I wanted to achieve. And I just had to just stick it. And I was mute. I would go to work, learn what I had to learn. 1, 2 o'clock, I would leave because I had to pick my kids from school. I did that for some time. At a point in time, I had to leave because my business needed me. So I just disappeared. After a while again, I went to apprentice. So I was just doing bits and pieces here and there. And as time went by, we now started having the YouTube coaches and tutors teaching people how to sew. So the thing is, now then I now realized that how people construct garments is different from one person to the other. And for some people, their way is more difficult than some others. And for some others, their way is easier, very easy, very straightforward than some other people. And I also found out that some people, even on this YouTube, they don't even know how to sew. They will just, they just went to one fashion school, tell them one theory or something, and then they'll just come and pour it on the internet, and people are here learning, trying to learn, and they are learning rubbish. But some channels actually put out good tutorials. Quite a number of them put out good tutorials. Why I'm able to say this is because I've watched some of these videos and I'm like, this is bullshit. As in, this is not correct. This is not right. And yes, I stand 10 toes down on what I'm saying. But the biggest part is that I learned on the job. That was the main place where I learned. I learned on the job. And I made a commitment to myself. Every single time I was practicing, I would go and practice and practice and practice. Practice, like they say, practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm still, there's still, things I don't know because fashion keeps on evolving. There are new ways and new techniques of doing things. But I practiced until I was good enough. Then now came a time when something happened and all my tailors left, like literally left. One had some issue, one got pregnant, one, it was just really, really messy. All of them had to leave at the same time. And I had nobody. And I said to myself, everything I've been learning, everything I've been practicing, now is the time to put it into work. Initially, I was scared, I had cold feet, but you know what? I did it. And I did it till this day, or rather, I'm doing it till this day. I've been doing it for so many years now. I cut all my garments that I sell, even though I have tailors that put them together for me. I like the fact that I'm able to make these clothes. I have an idea, a very good knowledge of how these clothes are made, and I'm a big factor in the making and the production of these dresses. It gives me a lot of confidence in my work, a lot of confidence in myself, in my business. I don't feel like I have started a business for somebody. It's very, very tasking on me. It's very challenging, but at the same time, anything good doesn't come easy. In my fashion business, I wear a lot of hats. And over time, I've learned to start delegating to different people. And even as I delegate, I still wear a lot of hats because I still need to look over the business and make sure that everything is working well and working together as one. So this is how I became a self-taught fashion designer, how I became a fashion designer, and I am very confident in what I do. I'm confident of the things that I make. It gives me a lot of joy. It gives me a lot of fulfillment. It gives me a lot of pleasure. So that's how I became a fashion designer. And I hope you're able to learn something from my little chit chat. If you enjoyed watching this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe and put on the notification bell so that you know when I put up a new video. And so I will see you soon. Bye.